Welcome back to BikeRide Reviews. I'm your host Scott, and we are back in the testing studio to bring you all the pros and cons about another new e-bike. And e-bikes today are more than just fun toys. Many people use them for work, commuting, or recreation. And in some cases, you can even get rid of your car in exchange for a do-it-all style workhorse of an e-bike. Bikes like the Blix Ultra that we have with us today in the studio are a perfect example of this kind of utility style bike. This is one big bike with a high 28 mph unlockable speed limit. So how is its size and weight going to impact its performance? Follow along with our review as we see how this dual battery beast is going to handle BikeRide's standardized tests. It's time to get this review going. But while I roll the intro, I need your help so that we can make even more videos for you all. If you like BikeRide's videos, please leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell. Every like and comment helps us to make even more videos for all of you viewers. So thanks for your help and views. Now let's go ride some bikes. So what is the Blix Ultra? Well, starting with the founders, Blix was created in 2014 in Santa Cruz, California, and it produces a lineup of cruiser, city, and fat tire style e-bikes. The Blix Ultra is a do-it-all fat tire e-bike, and it comes equipped with large wheels, a powerful 750-watt motor, and lots of mounting points. The bike offers tons of different accessories for purchase to customize it to do whatever you want. It has front and rear racks or baskets, kids seats, and pannier bags, just to name a few. This range of accessories and mounting locations allows the bike to fit into many different lifestyles. And the Ultra also features Bluetooth connectivity via the Blix app, which allows you to control some advanced features and track your rides. One of these features is an adjustable speed limit for the bike, and it's accessed from the app. The Ultra ships as a Class 2 bike with a top speed of 20 mph. Using the app, you can unlock this limit to Class 3 with a top speed of 28 mph. The Blix Ultra also offers a dual battery option, extending your range with two 14 Ah batteries mounted to the bike. This additional capacity should allow us to reach long ranges at high speed, so stay around for the range tests coming up soon. Our first pro for the bike is the battery capacity and range. Blix offers two options for powering the Ultra, a single or a dual battery build. The test model we have today is the dual battery option, which uses two 48-volt, 14 Ah or 672 Wh batteries for a total capacity of 1,344 Wh. This huge capacity enabled us to achieve great results for both our Pedal Assist 5 and Pedal Assist 3 tests. The Ultra's dual battery setup is well integrated. One battery is located in the down tube and another is mounted just behind the seat. The bike combines the battery power of the two batteries automatically, extending your range. You can also easily remove the second battery, reducing your weight for shorter rides. It was great to be able to choose the battery capacity required for a large cargo bike like the Blix Ultra. With a total range of almost 60 miles, it definitely has more than enough power for pretty much any journey. The second pro for the bike was the cargo capacity and accessories. The Blix Ultra stands out from its competition with its customizable accessories. The bike really features an impressive number of mounting points and all the accessories to match. The test model that we have with us today has the rear rack and wheel guards as an extra package along with that large rear basket. Combined, the rear rack and basket offer an impressive amount of cargo space on the rear of the bike. It was able to carry 150 pounds of cargo in total, as well as a 250-pound rider. The rear rack is large enough to fit a large pack. When it's combined with those rear wheel protectors, you don't have to worry about straps or clothing getting into the spokes, which is perfect if you're planning on adding one of the child seats to the back. The Ultra also has attachment points throughout the bike. The rear rack attaches to the rear triangle using 4 bolts, And this rack has its own attachment points for panniers, as well as several sets of bolt holes on the top, which are going to allow you to move the basket forward or back on the rack so that you can fit different riders and different sets of cargo. The bike also has 6 mounting points in the triangle, which would allow you to mount multiple bottle cages or other items like locks and triangle bags. It also has mounting points on the head tube, which are going to support the front racks and cargo baskets that are offered by Blix. I was definitely impressed by the number of mounting points on the bike, as well as the great accessories that Blix offers, allowing you to customize your ride. If you're planning to use this bike for cargo duty or hauling kids, it's going to be well equipped with many options. And the third pro for the Blix is the drivetrain and gearing. I was pleasantly surprised by the Blix Ultra's drivetrain. It's very common for me to find issues with higher speed e-bikes, as pedaling past 20 miles per hour can often be pretty unpleasant. The Blix really stood out from the rest in this regard with a well-paired drivetrain. It uses an 11 to 32 tooth 8-speed cassette, which is combined with that 48 tooth crankset, and it produced a very pleasant pedal cadence. I found myself comfortable cruising at 20 miles per hour with no ghost pedaling present. I could even exceed 20 miles per hour easily while maintaining a comfortable cadence. This extended gearing for the bike was an excellent match since we can go past 20 miles per hour to that 28 mile per hour speed limit. And it's really surprising how often this gear to speed ratio is overlooked on bikes. And it's very refreshing to have a well-paired bike when you're out there pedaling. And starting off with the cons, we had some rack and fender issues with this bike. The rear rack and the fenders are definitely sought after accessories that really should make the bike more enjoyable to ride. However, during the initial setup of the bike, these 2 items gave me a lot of trouble. The source of my frustration came from the installation of the rear rack and the fender together. The fender has 2 attachment points on its sides, which attach to the frame at the rear hub, and this has to be attached before the rear rack goes on. The rear rack also has an attachment point on either side of the rear at approximately the same place on the frame, and this really affects the angle at which the rear fender's attachments need to sit, because the rack does not allow them to move any further. I found that after installing both the rack and the fenders, the rear fender was consistently rubbing the rear wheel. No matter how I adjusted either the rack or the fender, riding over any kind of uneven surface, even just a little bit of a bumpy pavement, would cause the fender to bounce and rub on the rear wheel. Adding to the frustration was the fact that the rear rack had to be removed every time I wanted to remove or adjust the fender, since the front attachment point for the rack covers the fender bolts, which are located just behind the seat. There is a hole, but it didn't line up properly for me to make that adjustment. I used a zap strap to attach the fender to the rear rack, which kept it suspended away from the tire, and I was not very impressed with this issue. I shouldn't have to fix something with a zap strap when the bike first arrives, and I'd like the fenders and rear rack to complement each other a little bit better when you're installing them on the bike. The second con for the bike was some frame wobble. The Blix has an attractive aluminum frame that's definitely nicely shaped. Unfortunately, during testing, I experienced a lot of frame flex, which is easily felt by sitting on the bike and shaking the handlebars side to side. While riding, I took both of my hands off the handlebars to adjust my bag a little bit, and almost immediately, the bars began to shake back and forth violently. A strong wobble could be felt throughout the bike, emanating from the handlebars and the front wheel. It began suddenly, and it quickly escalated, throwing the handlebars and wheel side to side so much that it forced me to quickly grab the bars again to stabilize them. If I hadn't, it would have continued getting worse until I crashed in a matter of seconds. I began testing out this issue, first checking that the bike was properly set up with all components properly mounted to the frame and tightened. I couldn't find a loose component or a build issue that seemed to be causing this wobble. After looking online, I found that this is definitely an issue with other bikes as well. Several other reviewers have also posted about the type of wobble that I experienced on different models. It seems that the weight placement on the bike makes a big difference. I found that I could initiate the wobble even while holding the bars if I were to move the majority of my weight forward over the handlebars. The closer my center of mass was to the handlebars, the worse the wobble would become. So it seems that more weight further forward on the bike worsened the issue, at least for the Blix Ultra specifically. And our third con for the bike is the fact that this is a large and heavy bike. The Ultra is definitely not a lightweight by any means. The dual battery model weighed 86 pounds with its racks, fenders, and basket installed. Its heavy weight is further complicated by its large size, which is definitely increased by the rear rack and basket. Depending on your situation, the increase in functionality can sometimes complicate its practicality. The large tires and the heavy weight are going to make it challenging to lift this bike or carry it upstairs. Even getting it through a door is going to be challenging. Its racks and accessories can also increase its size, making it difficult to fit in tight parking spaces or between parked cars. The bike also comes in a single frame stop with a step-over design. This means that users are going to need to throw a leg over the bike to mount it, which can be made even more challenging when the rear rack and basket are added or you have cargo on the back. So what does it do best? Well, the Blix Ultra is a good-looking e-bike with lots of potential to back up those good looks. It's packed with functionality and it boasts plenty of attachment points and accessories for all riders. If I was going to get rid of my car and only ride an e-bike, I'd be looking for something like the Blix Ultra. With its massive battery capacity, it has the range available for all-day riding. Plus, with its many racks and attachments, it can easily carry all the cargo that you need for almost any trip. I also love how many options you have for these different types of accessories, making it easy whether you need to go on a grocery run or you're planning on dropping your kids off at school. So what are some reasons to look elsewhere? Well, not everything about the Blix Ultra was impressive. Issues with frame flex and the setup of the rear racks and fenders took away from the enjoyment of the bike. I would like to see a better setup for the rear fenders and the rack. The rubbing and impact with the rear tire really need to be corrected in some way, as having to add a zap strap was not the best fix. The rear rack is a nice item, but with the holes slightly misaligned and its design getting in the way of the rear fender, it felt ill-fitting when I was trying to make adjustments. I found myself quickly getting frustrated as I tried to set it up correctly again and again. The frame's ability to flex and wobble was another big drawback for me. While in general the bike felt quite comfortable under most circumstances, you could not release the bars even for a second. The immediate wobble that was produced was definitely scary, and the wobble also felt like it could probably damage the frame over time. If I didn't need to reproduce the issue for testing, I would definitely avoid taking my hands off the bars at all costs. The wobble also made me kind of hesitant to try accessories like the front rack and basket, because it seemed like having additional weight over the front wheel of the bike actually amplified the wobbling issue. And finally, the Ultra is not UL certified. Blix does not currently have any UL certified bikes, and this is something to consider when making your purchase. Getting into the frame and geometry, the Blix Ultra has a high step style frame. It's pleasantly shaped and made from 6061 aluminum. The bike is available in a single frame size and 3 different colorways. It also has both a single and dual battery option available for purchase. One battery is installed in the down tube, and another is attached behind the seat tube. The frame offers attachment points in the rear triangle for fenders and a rear rack, as well as 6 different attachment points in the triangle and attachment points on the head tube for a front rack or a basket. The frame can accommodate wheels up to 26 by 4 inches, with a solid rear and an 80mm coil suspension fork. Taking a look at the measurements on the bike, we have a seat tube measurement of 16.14 inches, a reach measurement of 14.92 inches, a stack measurement of 27.75 inches, standover height of 29.17 inches, a virtual top tube length of 24.80 inches, a minimum saddle height of 33.75 inches, and a maximum saddle height of 41 inches. with a wheelbase of 50.94 inches. The Ultra has a claimed height range between 5 feet 2 and 6 feet 2 inches, which seems reasonable for the bike based on its measurements. I found no issue with the bike for my 6-foot height, and I had lots of adjustment room left on the seat post. I would be hesitant to recommend this for riders at the lower end of the height range. The bike is a step-over unit, and when racks and fenders are added to the rear, a large leg lift can be required to get it up and over the bike. This could be pretty challenging when combined with the heavy weight of the bike, so people on the lower end of the height spectrum should definitely be careful when making this purchase. After using other displays that showcase lots of information in a single glance, the Blix Ultra display was a little bit disappointing. It's a small 3/4 inch circular display with an integrated 3-button touchpad. The bike is turned on by using the power button on either battery. This is a little different than most bikes which turn on from the control pad. The control pad is not going to turn the bike on. Only the battery power buttons will activate it. After pressing this power button, the display will turn on and the bike will activate. The small display will only show a single attribute at a time. Pressing the menu button will allow you to cycle through the current speed, battery level, assist level, and the trip odometer. The up and down buttons will cycle through the 5 levels of assistance that are offered on the bike. If you're looking for additional information, you're going to need to go to the Blix app, which will connect with the bike via Bluetooth to show bike info and update the bike's firmware. The app is a little bit more limited than other brands that I've tried, and its UI is not as intuitive. It feels a little bit clumsy if I'm being honest. The app will allow you to track your rides with GPS, install firmware updates for the bike, and see some information about the bike and its stats. You can also access a dashboard that shows items like the battery level, distance traveled, speed, assist level, and more. This allows you to see multiple options at once, because the main display will only show a single value at a time. Another good option for the Blix bike in the app is the adjustable speed limit. You can set the bike to a Class 2 at 20 mph, which is how it ships, or you can set that speed limit to a Class 3, 28 mph. The setting is easy to find and use, and it's a great option for high-speed riding. The Blix Ultra is powered by a 750-watt rear hub motor, which I found to be a great companion for the bike. The motor and the controller provide good assistance, which is applied in a powerful and consistent manner. The Ultra really works hard to maintain its top speed, regardless of the assist level. And this was wonderful as you bike along at 20 mph, since you can really feel the motor providing lots of assistance at all times. The bike shoots up hills with little effort as the controller applies lots of power to help you pedal. It was such a good climber that I actually managed to get one of the best times we've recorded on the medium and small hill climbs. Our small hill climb was completed in 2 minutes and 56 seconds at an average speed of 19.9 mph. And our medium hill climb was completed at 2 minutes and 16 seconds at 17.2 mph. Both of these results are excellent times that came in at the top of all the bikes that we've tested so far. The bike is fast to accelerate, whether using the throttle or pedal assist, and it showed this in testing with a good 0 to 20 time. It was able to accelerate from 0 to 20 in 10 seconds using only the throttle, and 8 seconds using that maximum pedal assist level. This result places it firmly in the middle of all of our test results, able to beat many bikes, and only being outpaced by the absolute fastest bikes that we've tested, which managed to accelerate to 20 mph in about 6 to 7 seconds. The powerful motor also showed reasonable control, with measured motor output at different assist levels. The Blix Ultra uses a set of 48-volt, 14 amp-hour or 672 watt-hour batteries, which combined give it 1,344 watt-hours of power. The downside to these batteries is the fact that the bike is not UL certified, which would be great to see for safety and peace of mind. The dual batteries include one which is integrated into the bike's down tube and another attached to the seat tube. You can easily use a single battery for smaller trips or add both for long-range rides. Each battery takes 7 hours to charge using the supplied 48-volt 2-amp output charger, which can be plugged into one battery at a time using the charge port which is located on each battery. The same charge port on each battery is used to charge them whether it's attached to the bike or you're charging the batteries while they're removed. To remove the front battery, you first need to unlock the battery from the frame with the key. Each battery has its own unique key, so don't lose either set. After you unlock the front battery, it will pop out of the frame slightly, but still remain attached to the bike. You can fully release it using the locking tab on the front of the battery. After turning this tab, the battery will be released from the frame and it can be removed towards the bottom. Reinserting the battery is just the opposite. Simply line up the battery connections and insert it into the frame until you feel it click into place. Finally, ensure that the lock has been turned back to its locked position. If you leave it in the unlocked position, the battery could pop back out of the frame and only be held in place by that thumb tab that's on the battery itself. Removing the rear battery is just as easy. It has a lock located on the battery on the opposite side as the charge port. Simply unlock the battery and pull it upwards to remove it from its locking rails. It can be a little bit tight to get it up and out of the frame near the seat, but it slides out just fine. Putting the battery back is the reverse. The most challenging part is lining up the battery on its plastic rails as you slide it back into place so that it locks. When you get it right, you're going to feel it click as it locks into place behind the seat post. The bike's dual battery setup was capable of great range. At 60 miles, this bike will feature more than enough power for long commutes and multiple days of riding on a single charge. Our first range test was completed at Pedal Assist 5 over 57.87 miles with 1,394 feet of elevation gain in 3 hours and 15 minutes at an average speed of 17.8 miles per hour. This is an excellent result for our Pedal Assist 5 test, traveling almost 60 miles and beating out every other bike tested. I was also surprised to see that the bike had a similar range both at level 3 and the level 5 pedal assist. This similar range must have been due to the bike's ability to maintain that 20 mph speed limit regardless of its pedal assist level. Still, it's a great range, knowing that you can travel almost 60 miles at 20 mph. For our range test at Pedal Assist 3, we managed to go 59.13 miles over 1,991 feet of elevation change in 3 hours 18 minutes at 17.5 miles per hour. The Ultra's drivetrain was a perfect match for the bike. It uses a microshift 8-speed shifter with an 11 to 32 tooth freewheel and a 42 tooth crank ring. The microshift shifter is not the cleanest during operation, and I found that it definitely needed some adjustment to make it run perfectly smooth. It tended to be a bit noisy during use, and it definitely had a little bit of inconsistency in its shifting. But its function is perfectly acceptable for recreational riding. My favorite attribute of the Ultra was its ability to maintain an excellent pedal cadence at different speeds. I never found myself ghost pedaling or struggling to keep up with the bike. A large and heavy bike like the Ultra needs to be able to stop quickly and efficiently. The Ultra takes care of this with a set of Zoom 2-piston hydraulic brakes and 180mm rotors. The Zoom brakes are not my top pick, as I tend to prefer Tektro, SRAM, or Shimano. But they are a reasonable budget brake, which I prefer compared to the generic brake sets that we find on cheaper setups. The hydraulic levers are pleasant underhand with a good lever feel and modulation. They do feature a reach adjustment, which is in the form of a small set screw on the inside of the lever. The aluminum levers are pretty soft, so do be careful. They can easily bend if you drop the bike or if you hit the lever hard. The Ultra's brakes performed well during our tests. They were able to bring the bike to a stop in just 18 feet from 20 miles per hour, which is a very competitive result that matches or beats most other bikes that we've tested. wheels, tires, and fenders. The Blix is a large bike, and it has a set of large tires to match those oversized looks. It's been outfitted with a set of Big Daddy 26 by 4-inch tires from Chaoyang. These are a fairly aggressive set of fat tires which are designed for all-terrain riding, and they have a blocky mountain bike style tread that offers good traction on different terrain. They were fine to ride on pavement despite having a little bit of enhanced roll resistance from the heavy tread. And the large tires are not tubeless ready, and they don't have any puncture protection, which would be nice features to have to keep you rolling smoothly. Blix bikes have an impressive assortment of accessories available for each of them. The Ultra is no exception, with attachment points built onto the bike throughout the frame. The Ultra can be equipped with racks for the front or rear of the bike, which can be fitted with different baskets and bags. The rear rack is easily able to accommodate a child seat, such as the Thule Yep or a padded passenger seat for larger passengers. Plus, the bike has extra attachment points for bottle cages, additional bags, and more. Starting with the grips for the Blix Ultra, we have a set of lock-on rubber grips with ergonomic flares. I enjoyed these comfy grips during testing. They're firm and comfortable underhand, and they don't slide around on the bars, making them a fine choice for the bike. The saddle is comfortable and has lots of padding. It's well shaped, finding a nice middle ground between comfort and size. It didn't impact me while pedaling, and it did not quickly become uncomfortable on our range tests. The pedals are a set of aluminum platform pedals with small aluminum pegs for traction. They were a fine set of pedals that didn't show any issues for me during riding. But they are a little bit smaller than other pedals I've used, so if you have larger feet, they might be a little bit small. I never know what's going to happen when we unbox a bike for testing. And the Blix Ultra is definitely a great example. It's equipped with wonderful accessories and a massive range, so the bike really seemed like the perfect ride. However, issues with its frame flex and stability became apparent during our test. These may not be deal breakers for all riders, since that huge range and powerful motor made the bike a comfortable and fun companion on long trips. Just don't take your hands off the bars. The Blix Ultra really stands out with its wide range of accessories and customization. So if you need a universal bike that can really take on any task, then the Ultra might just be the perfect fit. Is this the bike for you? Check out the detailed specs at BikeRide.com and see user and expert reviews. You can also check out other great e-bikes and see them rated to find your perfect match. Do you have a question or something you want to say? Let me know in the comments, and we'll start getting you some answers. If you like this video, please give us a like and a subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so we can keep on bringing you the latest e-bike reviews and news. I'm Scott with BikeRide.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the ride.